Hello everyone and welcome to this video where I'm going to be talking about how to actually get clients through a different method that I haven't actually demonstrated before. Now, in recruitment there's something called a PSL, which is a preferred supplier list, and what this means is some companies will only work with a set number of agencies. Usually, sometimes they meet with these agencies, they might meet once a year, and they only use those agencies. They're usually specific to their niche. So if they're in finance, they're going to have 5 finance companies in different sort of specialities that they may give all their jobs to, or they may give some agencies some jobs, or they may have all the agencies working on all the jobs, or chop and change it as they go. Now, the reason companies use preferred supplier lists is because they try and find the best ones. These chop and change every year, and I've used this method to get some really big clients. And why PSLs are usually good is because the top higher paying companies usually use them. They're very sought after. They're usually like NHS or these sort of blue chip companies. I've bagged a few companies off of this, some of which I never heard of, but they were very large in scope and they always have a need. A company that will have a PSL in place means they will be recruiting 90% of the year, and they usually have 100 to 200 jobs at once. Now, some companies only want to work with the reputable brands or the companies that have a big name and a large team. However, some companies like the companies that are very small or independent recruiters. I know for a fact that I think it's MI5 have a single woman recruiting for them who works from her bedroom, and that's a government contract, and she got on there through one of these methods, just applying for the PSL. Now, if you type in, as you can see on Google, I've typed in, there's different variations, recruitment PSL in, the commas, apply. And what this brings up is any website. I mean, it pulled up 800,000 results. And what this does, it pulls up agencies or companies that have somewhere or telling you how to apply. So they might have an email address, or they might have a form or an application form you send off. So you could obviously type in there something like finance. I'm sure it would pick up something. So Price Bailey is a very large accountancy. It's a finance company. So it's got something there. We review our PSL every 12 months, and you'd email the recruitment. So you can scrape these email addresses, and what they do is they put it in a folder. After they've reviewed the PSL, you'll get a notification back. And I've had some back where I've just spent a day doing this, and it's very worth doing it. And after that, you'll get some emails back. At this moment in time, most probably companies are very sort of price conscious. So a good pricing will be certainly key. As long as you've got a good brand, you have a website, you look professional, these companies will do business with you. I'm not saying if you email everyone they're going to do business with you. If I emailed this company, I don't have a finance agency, so it's unlikely they're going to come back to me. So you need to find companies that are being very specific. So AA is something that most people all know, and in terms of what they're sort of seeing and what they're doing, so they've got a email address. Now, if we just look at their vacancies at the moment, obviously because of the virus, they've only got 21 vacancies, but I know for a fact they'll have 100 plus with that. Let's have a look at Price Bailey, see if they've got anything listed as well. Oh no, this is a guide, and we can just look at a few other companies. So these are all companies, our preferred supplier list, and you usually pick up a lot of. So OneServe is another large company as well. They may have jobs on as well. So they've got just a quick application form here. I agree to the terms and conditions, etc., etc. And yeah, so that's pretty much a good little method. Now, the question is, what do you put in the email to make you stand out? Now, most people will try and sell on price. Most people will definitely try and make out they're the best. Now, what I would do if you really want to be fancy is go onto their website. So we use, AA, and you want to sort of copy the jobs and put them on your website or on your application form, and just say, look, I actually recruit for roadside mechanics in Coventry all the time. They're always going to have a need for roadside mechanics. This is their main sort of business. And you can put, you've got a partnership with Green Flag and you recruit for them. They'll like that because, another brand has gone for there. Unlikely they're going to check unless it's a really big sort of government contract. They want to see who you're working with, but obviously if you're at that stage you probably won't be watching my videos for a fact. So in the email you would keep it short and brief. Our speciality is automotive sector, mainly sort of mobile mechanics. This is what we specialize in. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear someone that's specific. They probably won't. They'll probably put you on a PSL, or sometimes these companies have a tier two, which is they use 5 agencies, and then they'll have 3 or 4 other agencies if they're desperate or they need someone emergency from that. So what I would do is, obviously, another thing is, go on LinkedIn and find a person that manages the PSL. Another thing you can do is go on job boards and actually find people that actually are in a job or were in a job that actually have on their CV, I manage the company's PSL. So you can find out it's the HR manager that manages it. I'll do a separate video on that. So if you go on LinkedIn and find out who's managing the PSL. So I just want to try, if we type in, finance, if anything comes up. Or if it's too vague in terms of this pretense agency. Let's just try and see, because then that can be something very specific. No, so in terms of that, so just to recap on these are going to be the larger companies. Now, these aren't going to be companies that are going to come back to you, instantly and, just email you, oh, thanks for your email. They probably get a few. Now, I've never seen anyone do these methods. I've seen people, land on a page and then, oh, they've got a PSL application. But this search method flags up pretty much everyone. I mean, I could go to page 10. Maybe we'll find a few on there. So, Co-op Banking is on there. There's a lot more on here that will have that. And through PSL agreements, yeah, so there's a number of them. Even page 6, I mean, this is going to be something like that. They've got the email address there. So you can just scrape these email addresses. And if you don't want to be fancy, you can just grab all the email addresses and just send out a blanket email. If you can grab, 100, 200, or find everyone on this list, or change the search method on here. So you might just want to change recruiting and then PSL application, and then see if anything different comes up. So, I'm not sure if any of these have changed or anything else added come up. So you just do this, scrape the email addresses. Now's a good time to do it. Some companies usually do their PSLs in April, which is, the end of the tax year, and sometimes in December, which is usually a quiet time for recruitment. So they try and organize everything for the next year, and they set up meetings. I had a number of meetings last year around December. That was pretty much what I'd done in December. I went and met companies that I were on the PSL on, and not every company's going to have a PSL part on their website as well. A lot of them will have somewhere where it's just very quiet. If you cold call, they'll just say we've got a PSL, and then you'll keep in touch from there. So you build your sort of organic list on that. But this is a good way to get started and a good way to sort of lead source on that. So I hope this helped. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you've got any questions, if you need help with an email or anything like that, what to say. Just let me know. Hope this helped.